Hi, welcome to MetDi Corporation. My name is Scott Britton, and today I'll be demonstrating my company's newly updated mobile gemology software application, MetdiGem for iOS. If you have an Android or Windows 8 phone device, you may view a demonstration of MetdiGem for both by going to www.metdi.com/product/MetdiGem. This video will demonstrate the application and the new interface and features added to MetdiGem version 1.2.2, taken from suggestions from users like yourself. I know you're eager to see MetdiGem in action, so let's get started. If you're an experienced iOS user, then the native feel of iOS is continued in MetdiGem. The same gestures used to control other iOS applications apply here. Please do not be offended if I explain the motions in more detail for other not-so-experienced iOS users. I will not be showing the installation process here, but it's the same as for all other iOS applications. One thing I will note is that MetdiGem for iOS may only be downloaded using a Wi-Fi network. Apple restricts applications that are over 50 megabytes in size from being downloaded on cellular data networks. The reason for this move is to attempt to prevent users from exceeding their monthly cellular data network bandwidth quotas as more and more cellular providers reduce the number of the subscribers who have unlimited data network access. I will begin our discussion of MetdiGem by giving you a little background information about how we arrived at the design for the application. When we began the process of designing and building MetdiGem, we used the principle of drill down in determining how we were going to deliver information to you. We chose to go from the most general of information to the most specific of information in as few steps as possible and in the most logical fashion. Because the application runs on mobile devices, the limited screen real estate of a smartphone dictated how we chose to flow information on and down a single screen and between screens. As you push new screens of information from the right, in most cases, more specific information is displayed and vice versa. MetDi's overall design is as gracefully balanced as the information allows. Let's move to the application itself. I will now start up MetdiGem by clicking on its icon. On first opening the application and on fresh starts, meaning you intentionally terminated MetdiGem and are restarting it, the application will boot up into the gem species screen ready to be used. Otherwise, it will return to the screen you were previously viewing, as I will demonstrate here by clicking on the Gem Varieties tab bar menu option, hitting the Home button, and then reopening MetdiGem. Moving back to the Gem Species screen, you can see a list of gem species names sorted in alphabetical order. In MetdiGem, most screens that contain lists of items similar to this are sorted in alphabetical order by category. Let's select corundum by swiping upward from the bottom of the screen to the top and rolling the list down the alphabet until we reach it. Clicking on it causes corundum species detailed information home screen to slide into view. Now that we are on corundum species detailed information home screen, you can see that it lists your standard species information from top to bottom. Three things I want to note here. One, you may see a little icon that looks like a lowercase I with a circle around it, followed by a greater than symbol, similar to the one listed on the right of the toughness information row, which we will call the disclosure icon from this point forward. If you remember on the previous screen, corundum had the same symbol in the same place. This will always mean that there is more information to be disclosed and that this item is clickable. The second thing I want to note here is that you may always reverse course by clicking the back arrow, denoted by the less than symbol, in the navigation bar at the top of the screen where you are located, unless you have returned to the starting home screen for a tap menu selection. It's pretty hard to get lost in MetdiGem. Lastly, just because you see a limited amount of information visible does not always mean there's a limited amount of information available. Some devices have a limited amount of screen real estate to work with, and going down and or clicking an item sometimes opens up more information. Just keep this in mind when you're using the application. Now, as I scroll down the screen, you will see more corundum species detailed information grouped by type of information. Concentrating on reaction properties, we see the disclosure icon in the heat reactions row. Clicking on it allows more detailed heat reaction information to slide in, and we can see how corundum reacts to being heated. Clicking the back arrow in the navigation bar at the top of the screen takes us back to the corundum species detailed information home screen, where we can continue our examination. Just to reinforce the concept that you may maneuver back and forth between information, I will click the light and chemical reaction properties for corundum now. Continuing on, a unique feature to MetdiaGem is the ability to view the varieties of a species by scrolling through the species detailed information home screen to the bottom and clicking on varieties, as I will do now. Although you could go to the varieties tab and scroll down alphabetically till you find a variety of corundum such as ruby, you can instead go through the species tab and get a list of varieties for corundum. Furthermore, clicking ruby in this screen, for example, will take you to the variety detailed information home screen for ruby, which I will cover in a moment. For now, I will return to the corundum species detailed information home screen. Ending our discussion on the Gem Species tab menu selection, I want to note two items. It is possible to use both the Species tab and the Varieties tab to view information that would normally be viewed in the other, because each links to the other from their respective tabs. In addition, unique to the iOS version of MetdiaGem, it is possible to display either different species information or different variety information in the other tab menu screen at the same time. However, you will still need to start by selecting either a species by species or a variety by variety. Moving on to the Varieties tab, you see a screen displaying a list of gem varieties. I will mention a point here before we move forward. If you see a single line of text in a row in the Varieties list home screen, then this information is linked to a non-specific variety of a specific species. Two text lines in a single row show information for a specific variety of a specific species. In addition, we have also separated information for some species into a variety that is not official, but something we thought should be separated. For example, considering corundum, we listed lattice diffusion rubies separate from normal rubies because the information warranted separation. Continuing with our corundum theme, I will scroll down the list to ruby and click on it. This brings up the ruby variety detailed information home screen. We will begin our examination of the ruby variety information starting with the line label species. Clicking on it brings up the species information from corundum from within the varieties menu screen. This shows that you can reach either the gem species or the gem variety information from the other. Furthermore, unique to the iOS version, it is possible to place two sets of the same information side by side. Switching back to the Species tab, you can now see we are showing the same species information for corundum from both the Species and Varieties tabs. Although showing the same information for the same species or variety would not be beneficial, with a little maneuvering, you can show the same information for two different species or two different varieties. For example, I will demonstrate how to view the variety information for both ruby and alexandrite using this method. First, I will return to the ruby variety detailed information home screen in the Varieties tab. Then I will go back to the Gem Species tab, return to the Gem Species list home screen, and click Crystal Barrel. Next, I will scroll through the chrysoberyl species detailed information home screen to varieties, click on it, and select Alexandrite. Now, by alternating back and forth between the gem species and gem varieties tab menu bar screens, I can easily view both the Alexandrite and ruby variety information. Let's move forward and click the Images Information row. I will stop for a moment to note a new feature added in MetdiaGem version 1.2.1. Notice on the tab bar there is an Images category. You may now get directly to the variety images from both the tab bar and from within the Variety Detailed Information home screen. As you can see currently, the screen shows two thumbnail images for the ruby variety. Clicking one displays a full-size image of the thumbnail. Now, if I click on the Images tab category, I will get a list of varieties that have at least one example image contained in the application. If I scroll down to Ruby and click on it, the same screen with the two image thumbnails for Ruby is once again displayed. As before, clicking one of the images expands to the full-size view. We did this with the thought in mind that you may want to quickly find the images of a particular variety via fewer steps while also retaining links to the rest of the variety information. This also keeps you from having to switch back and forth between tabs and hunt for information. Let's go back to the Ruby Variety Detailed Information home screen and select the Color Information row. We see that rubies are red, of course, and it has the disclosure icon at the end of its row. If this had been fancy sapphires, then multiple colors would have been listed, and clicking on each hue would have displayed the unique properties for the selected color. Since rubies are primarily red, clicking the red row brings up the only set of color properties for ruby. Remembering this application is designed with screen real estate in mind, I'm going to scroll down to the Spectrum section. Although only scrolling slightly in this example, more information may be displayed from within the Spectrum information box by clicking in the box and swiping your finger upward. As essentially and as practically as possible, we have tried to maximize the use of screen real estate to bring as much information to you as possible. Let's go back to the Ruby Variety Detailed Information home screen and select the Confused with Information row. This displays a screen containing a list of other varieties that Ruby is typically confused with. As you can see, the disclosure icon is present in each row. Let's click Spinel. This brings up the Ruby Variety Detailed Information home screen for Spinel, and you can view all the same information for Spinel that you can for Ruby, including species information. Let's return to the Ruby Variety Detailed Information home screen and click the Separations Information row. This displays a list of other varieties that Ruby typically needs to be separated from. For example, if I click on Almondite, this shows the test used to separate Ruby from Almondite. Notice the disclosure icon to the right of the Polariscope reaction row. Clicking this row shows further detailed information pertinent to the test. Let's go back to the Ruby Variety Detailed Information home screen, scroll down and click the Enhancement Information row. This displays a list of typical Ruby enhancement methods. Notice there are 3 different heat treatment methods displayed for Ruby. This is not an error. Each lists either a separate way of heating Ruby to enhance it and/or a separate result for the end product. To demonstrate the rows contain different information, I will click on each heat treatment method listed so you may view the difference between each. Let's switch gears and look at the other tabs now, beginning with the Search tab bar menu option. As of MetdiaGem version 1.2.1, you may search gem variety and gem species information with up to 22 different search parameters and endless numbers of combinations. I will slowly scroll down the screen for a moment so you may view the different search parameters before demonstrating this feature. Moving back to the top, if I select a search by requiring that all search parameters be met, a color restriction of blue, a refractive index greater than or equal to 1.7, and an optics restriction that all return varieties be single refractive, and then click the results button, this displays a list of every variety that matches the selected search criteria, sorted in alphabetical order by variety name and then species name. If I click on the diamond row, this displays the diamond variety detailed information home screen, where I can view the variety information and the species information if I select the species row. It is truly a very, very powerful way to find information tailored quickly to your needs using search criteria as broadly or as narrowly as you want. Moving forward to the Melting Temperatures tab menu bar option, which is found under the More tab, this screen lists melting temperatures for metals commonly used in the jewelry industry, along with some other useful comparison materials in both Celsius and Fahrenheit. The Specific Gravity tab bar menu option is the melting temperature sister, with the exception that it shows specific gravity information for the same materials. I will briefly scroll through both tabs so that you may get an idea of the breadth of the information they contain. Moving to the weight calculator, or Convert tab as it is marked, this helpful tool allows you to enter a weight amount in one of the fields, and the other fields automatically recalculate to the equivalent weight in their respective measuring unit. Notice that one field is always highlighted in red. This is the currently selected field. As you see on my screen, kilograms is the currently selected field. Clicking the number in the kilograms row brings up a numeric pad where you may enter a new amount. Clicking the Done button on top of the keyboard hides the keyboard and updates the other fields. For example, if I click the grams number field, The currently selected field changes and you may enter a new amount in grams. If I enter 5,000 grams, which is equivalent to 5 kilograms, upon hiding the keyboard, it recomputes the other fields, including the kilograms row, which now shows 5 kilograms. I will note that the calculator is accurate to 6 decimal places, so if you get an answer of 0 while one or more of the other fields show a non-zero number, that particular field is beyond the range of the calculator. As of MetdiaGem version 1.2.1, you may view the formulas for manually computing weight conversions by clicking the Formulas button to the right in the navigation bar at the top of the screen. This will bring up a list of conversions sorted alphabetically by the unit being converted from and then by the unit being converted to. Let's say I need the formula for converting carrots to kilograms. I would find the carrots to kilograms row, click on it, and the formula would be displayed. Finally, MetdiaGem contains a gemological dictionary that includes terms used throughout this application and in gemology as a whole. The dictionary is written in such a way to explain gemological terms at both a high and low level for all to understand. For example, if I scroll down and click the refractive index term, this displays both the formal definition and a description using the straw in the glass principle to reinforce the concept. It is content for both the experienced and the beginner. That concludes my demonstration of MetdiaGem version 1.2.2 for iOS. I hope you have found this video to be informative and enlightening. If you have any questions or comments about the software, suggestions to improve the software, or feature requests for future releases, please feel free to email me at the email address listed at the end of this video. Thank you for watching.